Hi everyone, it's Louise from Louloupurple Crafts. Today I'm going to show you my fourth journal page and how I made it. So first of all, I'm taking some pages out of my book to make room for the bulkiness of the next page. I'm now using matte medium to glue some pages together. Once I've stuck the pages together, I left them to dry overnight. So the next day, once the pages were dry, I used my white gesso primer to prime my pages and then left these overnight to dry as well. Once the gesso is dried, I then use my distress paints. I'm using antique linen and frayed burlap. I'm just using my fingers to blend in the paints. I've found this the easiest way to use them. I'm still new to using the distress paints, so I'm still just messing around, playing with them, see what works best for me. And so far, just blending them with my fingers seems to be the easiest way for me. Now I'm using my heat tool just to dry the paint off before I do the next layer of paint. Now I'm using Forest Moss Distress Paint. Then going back in with the other two colours to blend it in. Now I'm using my heat tool again just to dry the paint off. So now I'm using the Cogs dies from the Santorio Willow collection, and I'm just using some of the packaging card to cut my cogs out. Now I'm using frayed burlap distress paint to paint my cogs with. Now I'm using barn door distress paint for my hearts. After my cogs had dried, I thought they looked a bit dull, so I used some Creative Expressions metallic gilding wax, cast bronze. With that I used the Creative Expressions solvent blending solution to use with it, which you mix together with the wax and it makes a paste, which is then easier to paint onto my cogs. For my hearts, I'm using the deep red gilding wax. So now I'm using a music stamp with Ranger's Archival Sepia ink. I'm using the same ink on a text stamp, which I'm randomly placing on the page. I also found a happy mistake that if you use a wet wipe, it blends out the colour, so it's not quite as dark, which blends it into the back of the page a bit more. Now I'm just choosing some different coloured embroidery thread, which I'm going to use as part of my background. I'm just separating all the threads and making a big pile in the middle. Now I'm using Cosmic Shimmer acrylic glue to stick my lady over the top of all the threads. I'm just using my acrylic block and some heavy weights to put pressure on the picture so it dries well. Now I'm using Cosmic Shimmer Iridescent Micropigments cast bronze with my embossing paste, mixing it together, and now I am putting it through my stencil, which is a Tim Holtz and it's called Dot Fade. So now I am using some metal and a wooden cog, which are from the Willow range from Santorio. I'm using my perfect medium, and then I'm covering it with lapis black cosmic shimmer embossed powder. Having a few problems trying to get it out of the embossed powder. Obviously, because this is metal, it's going to get hot when you heat it, so I've used my tweezers to hold the item, and then I'm using my heat tool to heat the powder up. Now I'm using my matte medium to stick down my saying or my words. I'm having a few problems sticking my hearts down with the matte medium. I think it's because the card that I've used for it is too thick, so I'm now using my Cosmic Shimmer acrylic glue to stick the rest of the hearts down and the cogs. The peacock feather is also from the Willow range. Next, I'm using foam pads on the back of the second image of the lady so that she is raised. Now I'm using my jet black archival ink and the same stencil, which is Tim Holtz Dot Fade. I'm just adding some more dots here and there to make it look a bit more interesting. Now I'm using an old stamp which I've had in my stash for years and years, which is just a heart border. I'm also using a wet wipe to take away some of the ink so it's not as vibrant, and I'm just using a piece of paper to do the corners so that it doesn't overlap. So now I'm using my Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pen, which is black, to go around all the hearts and all the lines to make it look neater. Now I'm using my uni-ball Signo white gel pen, which is a pigment ink. Once all of that has dried, I am now using my Cosmic Shimmer Iridescent Micro Pigment, which is Christmas red, adding some water to it and painting the middle of the hearts. The good thing about the micro pigments is that if you leave it for an hour or overnight and it's dried out, you can just add water to it and it will reactivate the paint. So now I'm just adding some more water to the pigment to make it more fluid, and I'm just using my paintbrush and adding splashes all over my page. Now that the red paint has dried on all the hearts, I'm just using my Pitt pen to go around the black outline of the hearts again. So now I'm just going round the words with my black Pitt pen, and I'm just doing a block effect. And now I'm just using my Signo white pen to fill in the gaps. I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. If you have, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and to subscribe to my YouTube channel. We are also on Facebook, and if you want to visit the website, it's www.louloupurple.co.uk. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have been inspired.